for allowing me to share with you from my experience in Samoa. And my hope from this sharing is that you'll see how God was working powerfully, and that it'll encourage you to join upcoming missions. At first, I was struggling with whether I was being selfish in going on the mission a second time, but God makes no mistakes, and if He had made a way for me to go again, then it was His plan, and it's also His answer to my prayers. But I would be selfish if I kept it all to myself and I didn't share openly about my experience with everyone here and also with my family. And it would also be selfish if I didn't take what I learned and apply it to my life. So when I chose to go on the mission a second time, my parents were disappointed with my decision, and I was certain that I would eventually gain their support by the time we left. But even up until the car ride down to SeaTac, we were talking on the phone, and despite reassuring them that I really wanted to do this and I would be safe, I could tell they were not happy with me, and I easily became discouraged and my excitement was not there. But fortunately, I was with people who cared about me and noticed my low spirits, and they pointed out to me, and I realized right then that I need to be aware of my body language and how it was impacting others. My first mission was such a great experience, and I want to provide that same great experience for those going on the first time. And for those that were going on the mission again, I want to be an encouragement to them in serving together. And I would be so angry with myself if I let my problems break down the team morale, and everyone was so excited that from seeing their excitement, I had to force myself to put my worries behind me and put my trust in God and focus on His mission. And on our first day that we visited Fale Mauna, many of the people remembered our names and were asking about the others who visited last winter but were not there. And it was so great to hear them remember our names and bring back that warm friendliness right away. And when we were singing praise, the kids remembered the same songs from last time, and they were singing loudly with us, and I couldn't help but let go of my self-consciousness and be silly and sing and dance with them. And during first aid, I noticed that there was much less treatment of cuts and open sores compared to last winter, which shows that the supplies that they're using our supplies, and they're taking good care of themselves. So all the donations from the church, they're being put to good use, and they're very effective in helping the people. And seeing how we've impacted their lives made me very happy. And I know that it's not by my own doing that we see these results, but because of God's amazing work through the previous missions. So all of our lessons and VBS messages of look up to Jesus and fill your heart with Jesus, I'm sure they'll keep with them forever. And I would love to watch them grow up and see how God will continue to work in their lives. And I want to visit regularly as often as I can to encourage them and also be encouraged by them. But right now it seems unlikely. After my visit home to see my parents, I realized that I need to visit more often. I saw many opportunities to where I could be used by God, and this might be God directing my attention to where His heart is for my family. So with all that I've learned from both missions, how to love and serve, how to worship God openly and freely, and to praise Him always through the good and the bad, I want to continue to apply that to my life and also demonstrate it to my family at home, because I have seen countless examples of these in action, and I have no excuse not to do the same. And there are certain places where I would feel most comfortable in serving, but it's not where I want to be, but that I need to fully obey God and follow Him to wherever He leads me. And this mission really showed me that I need to be more receptive to what God is saying and always be listening to Him. Rather than telling Him that I need this or I need that, I should be asking at the same time, God, what is your will? And how can I prepare my heart? And am I doing these for the right reasons, or am I just here for thrill-seeking adventure? And I realized that my prayers need to be more open communication with God, not just one way of asking Him to provide. And this second mission really helped build on relationships with the people in Samoa. The chance to serve with Sue and Selena again, and meeting Pastor Lise, Miss Lucy, and Zachary for the first time was very enjoyable. We were a large mission team, but God brought us all together to form that one collective body to serve Him, each with our own unique gifts and talents. And seeing the familiar faces at Fale Mauna made me really happy and thankful to God that He would allow us to meet again. And He's working so powerfully through the churches to bless this mission. Happy Valley was very generous in welcoming us as the first guests to stay at their newly built mission home. And Fale Mauna showed that same generosity I remember from last winter that just amazed me and floored me. And getting to know the people better was a way of building the relationship. The night that we spent in the mountain, we met some of the older boys who were going out bat hunting. They had handmade slingshots to shoot down the bats that flew by, and Pastor Malasala had set up a bonfire for the boys to cook the bats in. And I was so excited seeing all this happen, and I stayed up waiting with them as they took turns going out. They didn't catch any bats that night because they all eventually flew back to the trees to sleep. But it was still lots of fun sitting with them near the fire and eagerly waiting for the Ezra return, hoping to see like a catch in their hand. And even more memorable was getting to know them. There was a language barrier, and Sue had already gone to sleep, so there was no one to translate, but none of that mattered. I learned that Sulilo is a fisherman, and he earns money from selling his fish. And Zulimani is the captain of his rugby team, and Ale plays on the same team. We're working on setting up a directory of the kids' faces with their names. So these names might be random to you, but there will be a face of them soon. And then they taught me words in Samoan, like moon, stars, and sun. And then I taught them some words in English. And then they sang for me the old hymn, Jesus is my captain, and I shall not be moved. And we just had so much fun messing around, and I forgot about being 22, and I could just act silly with them, just like in praise time, when I see the kids dancing and singing, and that encourages me to let go of my self-consciousness. Then they made me really envious when they told me that they spent the night at the church. Like in Psalm 27, where it says, "One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life." These kids literally dwell in God's house, and I wish I could stay there with them. And then going on the house visits also gave me a clear picture of the parents and the kids' lives. After becoming close to the people, seeing the living conditions really broke me, and experiencing the distance they walked to go to church also amazed me. Up until then, we had driven by the homes every day, and I didn't think much of who lived there. And it did not occur to me that people. The families that lived in the homes, they walked that long distance to church. But after visiting the homes in person, I know now, and I'm just amazed by their strong desire to be with God. And that their hunger for God makes me re-examine myself and my yearning for God, and it doesn't even come close. So Hillsong recently released a new album titled Cornerstone, and that's also the title of one of their feature songs. We sang this a lot on the mission, and we also chose to use it in the mission video. And the chorus, there's a line in the chorus that says, "Christ alone, cornerstone." And I think it's very fitting, because after seeing the struggles that the people face, I just can't help but wonder where they draw their strength from. And I call them struggles, but they must have such a strong faith in Christ that they are not fazed by it. And they've come to accept it and still seek to live their lives that just truly glorify God. And it's clear to me that Christ has become their firm foundation to hold on to, despite what happens to them. And even more reaffirming was when those kids sang, "Jesus is my captain, I shall not be moved." It was a reminder. It told me that Jesus is their captain, and it reminded me that He's also mine, and He needs to always be my captain. And from this mission, I just can't help but feel so blessed. Blessed by a relationship with Christ, to have Him as my cornerstone. And blessed by parents who really care for me and want what's best for me. It's true that at times they know me better than I do myself. So they keep me in check. And although it is difficult, at the same time, it reinforces my desire of how badly I want them to come to know Christ, and how long can I keep going, and who is my source of strength. It's like that refiner's fire from my faith. So I gladly accept all challenges with Christ next to me, just like the people in Western Samoa and American Samoa. They're not hindered by their circumstances, but continue to live for God every day. And I'm also blessed by this family of God in Samoa, Seattle, and Hawaii, who continue to encourage me and make it possible for me to go on a mission and experience things like the ordination service and the rededication at Happy Valley. And thank you all very much for your prayers and support. I want to pass on these blessings and do the same for others. So if anyone has the smallest inkling of going, I pray that it becomes a strong desire. And I I can show you all the pictures and the videos from both missions and tell you all the stories to calm anxieties, but more importantly, I'll pray for God to work in people's hearts. Because there really is no other way of seeing God at work but to be there firsthand and experience it. And I know my sinful heart will quickly fall back into old routine, but I pray that God would constantly remind me of the goodness He has demonstrated to me. I can't stop thinking about the next mission and all the supplies and donations that we need to include. There's 2 kids at Falimana. One, a young girl named Salafai who has a lazy eye, and Salilo has a cloudy eye. And I heard that if they don't get treated at a young age, they'll become permanent. And I'm worried about how they'll take it if that really happened, because I know I wouldn't take it so well. But I trust that God will carry them through, and I know that He has become their foundation. So I'm confident in seeing how they grow up. But more importantly than how I can think of ways to get them medical help, I need to pray for them. Not just these kids, but everyone. Because in Samoa, Seattle, and Hawaii, we've all become a big part of God's family, and yeah, I just continue to pray for this family. Thank you.